You're listening to the Raw Reaction on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Dude, it's 2 weeks in a row. This may be a new record, at least for the year of 2017. This good show tonight. I've liked the last couple shows a little bit better, but I feel like we're well on the way to WrestleMania, and the card is shaping up. I feel like they've really put some things into place, and I feel really good about WrestleMania. I'm looking forward to first weekend in April.
What are you most excited about on WrestleMania?
You know what? Call me a fanboy. I'm most excited about how Lesnar Goldberg goes down.
Same here.
Because I could see it going many different ways. A 30-second match or a 15-minute match. And I can see both wrestlers winning.
You know, what's interesting about the things I'm hearing Lesnar and Goldberg are going on last. And I'm hearing it's going to be another short match, which I honestly don't think. I'm going to say there's nothing I'm more excited about than these guys going on again. I don't think Goldberg's going to lose. I just don't. I think it's too obvious. I think it's WrestleMania, and he is going to run through Lesnar yet again. And I don't know what you really do with Lesnar from there, but Goldberg is going to win this match. I'm excited. I do like that Brock Lesnar is in a must-win situation. Heyman re-emphasized that tonight about how, he's got to win this, and when the night's over, they're going to conquer him, and the F5 last week was an indicator. But I'm not sure. But what's interesting, Vic, is I read an interview with the departed WWE wrestler Ryback. Do you know what he had to say?
He said bring the Hardys in and split them up, I believe.
No, even worse. This was today. He made some comments about how Goldberg to him is old, and although he's doing such a great job playing Goldberg and summoning the old Goldberg, he just isn't what he used to be, and it's an old man trying to be Goldberg. And he really thinks that the WWE, I kid you not, you can Google this, he thinks that WWE is doing this with Goldberg to get back at Ryback. This is what Ryback thinks, that this is the spot he should have played. In fact, I actually want to read to you what Goldberg... I mean, it's unbelievable. It may be the most delusional thing anyone's ever said. Let me just tell you that.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Ryback, he was like a good mid-card talent when needed, but I don't think he ever held a belt, and he might have got a little full of himself with the Goldberg chance. Worked for him. They were for agriculture.
Can I read this to you?
Yeah, please.
I mean, this is unbelievable. The delusion of Ryback thinking he is bigger than he is. Now, I was a big guy fan, don't get me wrong, but this makes me lose a lot of respect for him. He looks physically very impressive, but you can just tell he is an older human being, and anybody who tries to deny that is being ridiculous. I think he's done a phenomenal job being Goldberg to the best of his abilities, and surely they have done a good job with him. I'm happy for him and all that's going on. But part of me still looks at this and is like, come on, guys. Is this because I left? Why wasn't he brought in when I was there for the last 5 years, when that was the match that would have made absolute sense? I'm raising that point because I left, and I really think it's all a game. I look, and part of me believes, because Vince McMahon brought him in spite of me. The marks who disagree just don't get it. But I'm bringing a point, raising a question. I mean, really, what is wrong with him? Really?
The funny thing is, the first 20 seconds of that you read, it seemed legitimate. But then to put yourself on, hey, you know what? They really just brought him in to fuck with me. Like, they're probably paying him more for 15 minutes of work than they paid Goldberg over the last 5 years.
Oh, I know.
I
I
don't
mean,
understand if Goldberg understands that or not. And I mean, I get, you know what? I get you have the ego. I get you need people to subscribe to your podcast to actually listen to this, and it's unbelievable he actually said this. But I have to wonder if he really believes that.
I just don't get it. But it's going to be a spectacle nonetheless. I mean, I'm surprised they probably should have saved the rematch, for WrestleMania. They gave it to us at SummerSlam. But it's going to be awesome nonetheless. And, I can't wait to see it. And, the mystique of Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, he obviously ended the streak from The Undertaker. And how about The Undertaker tonight and Roman Reigns? Well, not so much The Undertaker showing up, but The Undertaker's gong almost costing Roman Reigns a match with Jinder Mahal of all people. But HBK, man. What about HBK? Coming almost as a legend ghost of the past to tell stories to Reigns of what happens to people who try and take down The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He tried to warn them.
Yeah, I mean that was you know what, that was some good storytelling there. I liked it a lot. I think it really advanced the line, and to have a legend like HBK come back
HBK.
before WrestleMania, that's sort of a big deal.
Well, I agree, but I mean, didn't you think he would do more than just that? I mean, that was kind of wasted him when you got him.
Yeah, I was sort of hoping for more, but at the same time, it sort of advanced. The dialogue of Reigns. Fuck it.
But what about Strowman though? Strowman came out. Is he going to be part of this match? Is it going to be a three-way?
I think that's, you know what, as much they've killed Strowman over the last couple days, the last week's pay-per-view and last week's Raw, I'd love to see Strowman part of that match.
Strowman,
Roman, Taker.
Yeah, I mean, I would think the chances of Undertaker winning that match would be very, very difficult if that's what happens.
Yeah, but you know what? I'd rather see all three of them, because otherwise, any momentum you build up with Strowman over the last 6 months, which is pretty much most of his career, is in the garbage.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't think there's any way Roman wins that match. I think it's got to be Strowman, if anybody.
I don't know, man. I mean, the thing is, if they're going for a Reigns solid turn, I mean, he's talking shit. He's like, I'm gonna retire the Undertaker. Like, you don't just say that out of nowhere. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I feel like this could be the Taker still elect Strowman face turn, Reigns heel turn, if Strowman saves Undertaker and ends up beating Reigns, or even takes the fall to Reigns but saves Undertaker.
Yeah, but if Undertaker doesn't win the match, he loses. So I think Undertaker has to take the fall, regardless, if that's what they're gonna do.
I see what you're saying. I don't know. This is gonna be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if they add Strowman to the match, because I feel like they've sort of teased it, but they made Strowman look like a fucking pussy the last 2 weeks.
I know. I hated the idea of Strowman versus Undertaker until I saw the Strowman versus Big Show match that was on Raw a few weeks ago. That match actually kind of sold me on Strowman to the point where I'm like, you know what, I could get into this match now. And then the Fastlane match against Roman, oh my god, I can't believe they did that to Strowman. That was
know what, I hated the ending, but I absolutely loved the match. It was a great match. I mean, these two last matches, I've seen more in these two last matches out of Strowman than I have in his entire career.
I would agree. But if he was going to lose to Roman, they should have just done it at WrestleMania. because I mean it would have meant something. I couldn't believe they jobbed him like that on Fastlane. He had 2 years of momentum. They got crushed right the pay-per-view before WrestleMania. Doesn't make sense.
I would agree that, but at the same time, I think with that you need to pull the trigger on Cena Undertaker, which for some reason, God knows why, they did not do.
Yeah, I guess because Cena requested the match with Nikki Bella because it's her last match ever. So they want to be able to show the kids they had a match together.
Do you think that he proposes at the end or impregnates her or pulls her top off or something?
You know, I think you're onto something. You think he'd impregnate her in the ring after the match?
You know what? That'd be good sportsmanship. I think that'd be about right.
It's just so forced. It's like, you know, like it's exactly the stuff Nikki said that she didn't use to get ahead. Is exactly what she's doing. I mean, calling this match and having John Cena call in this favor. I mean, I think Cena's making a mistake. He could have, like, who knows with injuries and stuff. He could have broke Ric Flair's record at this WrestleMania. You know, and he may never if he gets injured. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I still think he has it in him to break the record. But at the same time, I think that, you know what? I mean, if they're not going to give him a championship match, they're not going to give I think WWE dropped the ball. I think they should have given him a match against Taker. Unless Taker said, hey, you know what? I have another 3 or 4 years with the company, and I'm going to have a match next year against John Cena and the following year against whoever. Like, I feel like that's the reason they didn't do that match.
Yeah, Cena's 39 right now. So he's probably got about another 3 or 4 years where he can, I think, still really bring it. So he's got plenty of time, but still.
Yeah, I'm like WWE. I almost feel like WWE is getting spoiled by some of these guys coming back and like being a integral part of matches. Like, I mean, they have The Rock coming back. They have Undertaker year after year. They have Goldberg coming back now. And I feel like they're thinking, you know what? Even if Undertaker like retires for like 5 years, he can eventually come back and wrestle Cena when Undertaker's like 55 and Cena's 45.
Yeah.
It's a big payoff down the road. Whereas I'd rather see it with Cena in his prime and Undertaker on his way out versus Undertaker back from his way out and Cena on his way out.
The Rock's
I'd rather
44.
I'd rather sooner rather than later.
To your point about people coming back, though, The Rock's only 44. So he, in his matches against Cena, he was only 40 and 41.
No, you're right. But I mean, I think that they feel like, especially I think Goldberg coming back, and I mean they've used. You look at the Sting coming back. I mean Triple H is comes back once a year for WrestleMania. I feel like it's sort of they appreciate people coming back and showing up for this stuff, but I feel like we're missing out on like a prime time. I'd rather see a prime time match in the prime time than 3 or 4 years after prime.
If you smell what I'm cooking.
Dude, I smell you're cooking, and I'm thinking it's bacon.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think Cena wants to go out to Hollywood, buddy. That's what
I do too. I can't blame him. I mean, shit, Hollywood's a lot less bang for buck. You can go fucking live with, what's her name, Nikki Bella. Get paid probably 5 times more. Collect a bigger paycheck. Live the life. I'd be going out to Hollywood too, to be honest with you.
You see how the ring rats can totally ruin you? Look at Daniel Bryan with Brie Bella, who we met on the road, and John Cena with Nikki Bella. The ring rats bringing down the great roster. You know, all these women taking down these superstars.
Dude, a little roadhead is pretty costly in the WWE universe.
It does, man. It does.
It ruins you. I mean, I haven't seen Michelle McCool out wrestling since Taker. Still a great one.
She retired The Undertaker.
Yeah, whether she knows or not, she did.
Cena and Mickey James, man.
She retired Cena's first marriage.
I'm really surprised Michelle McCool like left WWE so early. Like she was really like a great athlete and a good wrestler. I think she'd fit in very well right now. But
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what? It's like she's chance to go marry the Undertaker. I mean, he probably has like $50 million in the bank. He lives in the fucking middle of paradise in Texas. Like, that's not a bad. That's a step up, not a step out.
I wonder what she does now.
Probably makes children with Mark Calloway.
Yeah. Interesting nonetheless.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So, what do you think about this whole Sami Zayn, Chris Jericho tandem tonight? Just to advance the feud, and more later.
I forgot about this. Yeah, I wanted to tell you. Well, Zayn and Jericho took on a very formidable team of the OWGS. I don't know if you know about the infamous OWGS.
No, please do go on.
The obese white guy and Samoan.
Nice. I see that being a new faction.
Let me tell you something. The internet wrestling crowd's wet dream came true. The two obese twins that resemble the majority of our audience, Samoa Joe, who's obese, and Kevin Owens, who's obese, took on Zayn and Jericho, and I have to say, it was just hysterical watching these two guys together. They're not so bad individually, but together they really do make wrestling look a little poor.
I think that's their biggest issue, their biggest miscues would really be when they're fucking up, like just heel trash talking. Not anything that happens, but oh man, I dropped him with an atomic drop, and both of them start talking at the same time, and you can't understand if one's like trying to make a sentence or one's trying to complete a well thought out side of the discussion.
Well, I mean, like I said, buddy, I think I'm more concerned about the casual wrestling fan tuning in. The casual wrestling fan tuning in is like, they have John Cena, they have Goldberg, they have all these monsters, and then you have these two fat guys. Like, what's up with that? No?
I don't know. Are you the two fat guys? Are you talking about KO and Samoa Joe?
Yeah, they're just like together they look ridiculous. It's just like two guys that should be spending more time in the gym if they're professional athletes. Wouldn't you think?
You know what? I definitely agree, but I try not to break down that other dimension of.
I don't mind them individually, like I said, but together they look so stupid, man. You know?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's they're definitely a good heel tandem there, but at the same time, small.
I gotta find this. Ryback also made comments about Kevin Owens in the gym, and I want to see if I can find this because it's so good. And the comments he made about Kevin Owens' physique.
What happened?
Ryback's just so good. Ryback on Kevin Owens' conditioning.
Jeez.
That's
too easy.
I mean, he's everywhere. Kevin Owens is... There are a lot of guys with a higher threshold of cardio that doesn't exist. I don't agree if Kevin doesn't work out because I believe it'll improve his life in general and all that. But I've wrestled him in there. I do believe his conditioning could be better. But you've never watched a match of his and seen it hinder his importance. Let me see. Where is it? He doesn't have an ideal wrestler's body. You never watch him and say, "Oh man, looks like he's blown up. He's so out of shape." It's not an issue as far as professional wrestling, but Kevin Owens doesn't work out. Wow, that's interesting. Interesting stuff. That is interesting. There's a whole article on it. He says I'll say that because I understand Kevin doesn't work out, but don't quote me on that 100%. Maybe he started but didn't. But everybody has a different genetic level of what they have to do. I mean, it's just interesting. I mean, he's talking all this crap about Kevin Owens is like, where is Ryback coming from? Why is he going after everybody? Like, what's up with him? You know? I'm looking forward to seeing the Ryback shoot interview someday. That's what I want to say. How about you? When will that be on, the Ryback shoot interview? We need that. Big Dick, you here? Anyway, what else do we have tonight? The tag titles, buddy. They're going to be defended. A match between Enzo Amore, Big Cass, and Cesaro and Sheamus was thrown out because the Blow Up Club, Gallows and Anderson, decided that they're not getting enough attention on TV. But I think in reality, they just didn't want opponents at WrestleMania. So they decided to try and get the match thrown out. They did. Mick Foley inserts both teams into WrestleMania. Very interesting there. Am I overall interested in that match at WrestleMania? Not really, but it'll be a good pre-show filler. Big Vic. We also had the Sasha Banks, Charlotte / Bayley developments at WrestleMania. So a lot actually happened. Sasha Banks had to take on Dana Brooke, which actually was a really, really quick match, which Sasha Banks won. And Charlotte just snapped and just could not take it anymore. Charlotte, oh boy. Kevin, get your editing equipment ready. So Sasha beats Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke proceeds to get beaten down, verbally beaten down by Charlotte, and she just can't take it anymore. Dana Brooke snaps and beats the crap out of Charlotte, which was surprising. And folks, I kid you not, play this back on your YouTube. Dana Brooke got like an Attitude Era pop, and the crowd was chanting Dana over and over and over again. Now, one would say, wow, Dana Brooke's so over. Like, wow, great job, Dana Brooke. I think Charlotte is just so over as a heel, and people hate her so much that she can get anyone over, and that was proof tonight. So very interesting there. Bayley is booked into a match with Nia Jax because Nia Jax wants in the WrestleMania match and thinks she's being overlooked. But in reality, it was just a setup for Nia Jax to, with Charlotte, beat the ever-loving crap out of Bayley and try and take her out. So we're still all set for WrestleMania with those girls. It's going to be a really interesting match, but the seeds are even planted with the Sasha Banks heel turn tonight. There was some dissension there, even though, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. So I don't know who's going to win that, but I do think Bayley will find a way to show up to reign supreme. But even if Sasha Banks does decide to turn heel, but it should be a great match. So they've done a good job building it up. Wouldn't you say, Big Deck? Oh, yes, you would. Yes, you would. Last two things to cover. Oh no, we lost Big Deck. The last thing I'm just bringing us home, folks. I'm doing. We used to have this show on the town I live in called Coalition to the Constitution. It was this this show about this guy who believed that there were conspiracies, and all across the world, he thought the government was a big conspiracy. He thought everything was a conspiracy. Tinfoil hats, all that good stuff. You know, I think to myself when I watch that, Bob Tallard, the guy who hosted, would just talk for an hour. He would just talk. There'd be no one else on the show. He would just get a sheet of paper and talk about all these different topics and all the different conspiracies in the world. And it was insane. The guy looked like a madman on TV, just talking for an hour straight with no other host. That's me tonight. I'm just talking like a madman, and who knows if anyone will ever hear me. It's insane.
You know what, man? I'm back joining you. I'm back.
So, we've already covered the Divas in their big match and the tag team match, but I guess
I got the end of it. Is that definitely a triple threat match now for Mania?
It's always been, yes.
Okay, that's what I thought they were leading to, but I thought it went back and forth like, the winners are going to take them on, and it didn't win tonight, so I think both of them were going to take them on.
Well, Big Show, did you hear about Big Show tonight with the New Day in the back? He's entering the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, your favorite time of year.
Oh, man, you know what? That's my favorite match. They should let him win that and just let him have it as like if they don't have a better match for him against like Shaq or something, just let him fucking win it. Let him take his trophy home and then retire.
I think he's gonna win it for the second time. I'm convinced he's gonna win it. I feel bad for him though. Shaq really screwed him. I don't know why Shaq pulled out, but that's bullshit.
$4 bills right now, and I mean Shaq was one of those dominantly in shape, and he just let himself go. It was like Charles Barkley. He's let himself go too.
Well, I think Shaq chickened out. I really do. I think that's what happened here. He didn't want to get embarrassed.
Yeah, even if he knew that even if he was handed to win on something, Big Show, especially in the shape he is, he would make Shaq look bad in winning. And Shaq is more worried about appearances than entertainment. So I hate it.
Well, it'll be an interesting battle royal with Big Show and just a bunch of other guys because they haven't named anyone else and we're like 2 weeks out.
Lots of jabronis. What are your thoughts on the Hardys possibly coming back for WrestleMania?
You really think that's going to happen?
Dude, their contract ends, I think it's April 1st or something, which is a couple days before WrestleMania. They have like a temp contract with Ring of Honor. I think they come back that night. Maybe beat the shit out of either Champs or American Alpha, especially if American Alpha doesn't wrestle. Or is on the
wow. American Alpha versus the Hardy Boys. Wow, that would be crazy.
I mean, and that's the thing. I feel like they could pick up very quickly. They could pick up the storyline they've been running with. Just because it's so well done and so well known right now to just your casual wrestling fans. You're going to have people chanting delete, obsolete, let's go Hardy, boo, Hardy, whatever.
Well,
I'm sort of stoked to see how that works out.
Well, I would I don't know, man. I don't know.
Ryback wants them split up. I disagree with that.
What else do we got? We got Owens and Jericho tonight.
I'm excited for that match at WrestleMania. I feel like that could be the opening match, and it could go 25 minutes and be a match of the year candidate. I don't know if they give him that much time, but I feel like that could be that type of match where they give him that much time.
Well, I mean, I think they'll be a great team. A great match just because it's Jericho and Owens. But I mean, I don't know if I'd put them on first.
I don't know. I mean, I have a feeling New Day will probably be on first, and the Team Swaft will probably be up next, just to get the crowd really into it. But at the same time, I feel like you need to spice things up a little bit. I mean, you have a card stacked. It's a 7-hour card, 5 hours of actual WrestleMania show. I feel like you need to have a couple things that catch people completely off guard.
True. Well, I thought tonight they got their butts kicked, that being Zayn and Jericho. So, Owens and Joe really sent a message. So, I think it's going to heat up from here.
Yeah, I mean, I think no matter what, I think the Jericho Owens match is going to be epic, but I'm interested to see everything else surrounding it.
True. I do think Jericho's going over in a big way. How about Owens last night getting jobbed again to Brock Lesnar in 1 minute and 20 seconds?
What did he do? Did he take his eyes off the prize?
He did.
That's probably why he lost.
True.
I feel like I should be a wrestling manager. I really do.
So if this is truly a blizzard tomorrow, how long is this going to last?
I think it's supposed to be over by tomorrow night. It's supposed to start around now.
Does that mean we can get out the next day?
On Tuesday or on Thursday? Probably.
No. Wednesday.
Probably not. Just because it depends where you need to go. I mean, if you need to go pick up a prescription or something, then yeah, that's cool. If you're trying to fly out of Hartford to go to Las Vegas or something, and you booked it a couple days ago, that might not be true.
Yeah, I hope this isn't. Is there any chance this thing misses?
I haven't looked in about 12 hours, but it looks like it was going to hit your neighborhood.
It looks like we're getting it the worst, bro. Why does this have to happen?
I don't know, man. It's just fucking weather.
This means no Starbucks. No.
You should have Starbucks brew cups at home for emergencies just like this.
And why do people get more stuff than they need? You only need a day's worth of food. It's not like you're not gonna get why do people buy weeks worth of shit? I don't get that.
Yeah, it's you know what? I need a week's worth of milk, orange juice, and bread.
But why do they do that? I don't get it. You can't cook with it anyway if your power goes out.
To be honest, I think some of it is just people just freak the fuck out about stuff like that.
People just like drama, man. But I will tell you, I don't like the idea of being stuck all day home tomorrow at all. But trying to think of what else is going on. What's the what do you think of the last segment tonight? I mean, that was interesting. I guess Seth Rollins versus Triple H will happen. What did you make of all of it with Foley?
What's that?
What did you think of the last segment with Foley?
I liked it, except for the fact when Seth Rollins came to the ring without the crux, that was cool. Having Triple H beat the shit out of Foley over the next 2-3 weeks, not a big.
Who would Foley have fired?
What's that?
Who would Foley have fired? Can you hear me?
I do. What else are you thinking?
Who would Foley have fired tonight if he had the chance? He was supposed to fire someone, but he fired Stephanie McMahon, even though he can't. We're having a little technical difficulty here with Big Dick, but basically Mick Foley's task tonight was he had to fire someone, and then he just decided he was going to fire Stephanie McMahon, and he's like, well, if you have something to say about it, your husband, the creator, Triple H, could come out and say something to me, but no one's seen him. Cue the music. Triple H comes out, and he's about to kill Mick Foley. He tells Mick Foley to put his tail between his legs because he'll fire his daughter and son from WWE programming and backstage where they work if Mick Foley loses his job and doesn't do what he's supposed to do. Anyway, Foley walks out of the ring, comes back in the ring, mandible claw with Sacco on Triple H. Seth Rollins comes out after Triple H gets the upper hand because of a low blow from Stephanie McMahon. And Rollins starts getting the better of Triple H, but Triple H gets a hold of his crotch and beats the ever-loving crap out of him. Triple H Rollins. Booked. And I don't know about the snoring that I'm hearing. I don't know if the snoring would be part of the main event, but I will say this. It was a good Raw.